Greetings everyone, my name is Jonathan Bailey. I am from the website Plagiarism Today, which can be found at plagiarismtoday.com, and it is time for everyone's favorite copyright recap show, the 7 and 7. That's right, this is the copyright recap and review that believes your time to be valuable. I spend hours every week combing copyright news, grasping and entering the latest into my brain, and then I recap 7 stories every week in 7 minutes or less, so you don't have to. On that note, everyone, we have a lot of great stories to cover this week, so with everyone's permission, I would like to get this party started right about now. Okay, our first story this week. Fox News has settled its case with North Jersey Media Group. I keep wanting to call it the New Jersey Media Group. The North Jersey Media Group is the group that holds the copyright to the iconic 9/11 photograph of the firefighters raising the flag over Ground Zero. Fox News, in honor of one of the 9/11 anniversaries, put the photo onto their social media. North Jersey Media Group sued for claiming copyright infringement. Fox News, on the other hand, claimed fair use. Now, Fox News doubled down on the use, and a year later had one of its hosts put the photograph on their Facebook page, further angering North Jersey Media Group. Now, the two sides appear to have resolved their differences. They've reached a complete settlement, the terms of which are not being disclosed right now, but a lot of copyright observers, myself included, were watching this case very carefully because, if we're going to be honest, we do not have a lot of great guidance on fair use in photographs and social media. This case could have provided some, but alas, we are not going to get that. Our next story this week is the appeals court, specifically the Second Circuit. I don't know why I said the ninth. The Second Circuit Court of Appeals has upheld sanctions against Film On. Now, Film On is an Aereo-like service that captures over-the-air television broadcast and streams it to people via the internet for all their devices. Now, when Aereo went down in flames in the Supreme Court, Film On pressed on, arguing that it qualified for a compulsory license as a cable network. The courts, however, have not been so kind, especially in the Second Circuit, which not only ruled that it was not qualified for a compulsory license, but that it was infringing and ordered them to stop. Film On did not stop continuing to broadcast and have now been sanctioned by the court, and that sanctioning has been upheld by the Second Circuit, hitting them with both a $90,000 in sanctions and $115,000 in legal fees. All in all, this doesn't look pretty good. The Second Circuit does seem to acknowledge that there is a possibility Film On could become a sanctioned service down the road, but says they are not right now and they have no business broadcasting. And another story this week, Justin Timberlake and Will.I.Am have been sued over the song Damn Girl. The group PK Music Performance Group, as a rights-holding group, has filed suit alleging that the song violates the copyright of a song, A New Day Is Here at Last, which was written in 1969 by Perry Kibble and performed by J.D. Davis. The suit, which represents the composer's rights, claim that it uses various elements from the song, including, for example, the bass guitar riff, the saxophone parts, conga drum, organ, bass, and a whole bunch of other stuff. My notes are right here, by the way. That's why I'm staring this way. Long and short of it is this case has eerie echoes of the Blurred Lines lawsuit, prompting many people to perk up and pay attention to a lawsuit that otherwise would just be considered run-of-the-mill stuff for the music industry. Speaking of run-of-the-mill music stuff for the music industry, Spotify has responded to David Lowery's lawsuit. Now, this one's a fascinating case. David Lowery is claiming that Spotify has failed to comply with the terms of the mechanical license. Spotify, to composers, has to pay both a public performance right and the mechanicals right. The mechanicals right deals with when you're selling or distributing a song as an on-demand streaming service. Now, the mechanicals royalty, which is still somewhat controversial for this application, is a compulsory license, meaning Spotify doesn't need permission, but it has obligations. It has to pay the royalty, and it has to make a notification that it is going to use the song. Lowery claims it has done neither. Spotify claims that the data is just too bad, and they set aside the funds, but they have no way of knowing who owns what song. Now, Spotify's response initially is just challenging the class action status of the lawsuit, not actually talking about the merits of the case. Still, it's interesting to get our first response from Spotify in this. Moving on, Kanye West's new album Kanye West's new album has been pirated over 500,000 times. The Life of Pablo was released as an exclusive on Jay-Z's Tidal music service, and initially it was supposed to be a limited time exclusive, but since then Kanye has announced that it's going to be a permanent exclusive. Many, either unable or unwilling to access these songs on Tidal, have just simply decided to go to the Pirate Bay and elsewhere to download it, shattering records and expectations for other types of music. Now, Kanye himself appears to not be too thrilled about this, and at least one report says he is speaking with his legal team about quote-unquote suing the Pirate Bay, whatever that means in this context. Given the other struggles with dealing with the Pirate Bay, I don't think he'll have much more luck. Speaking of battling piracy, though, in Australia, we are finally, after almost a year, something like 8 months after the law took effect, we are seeing the first lawsuits attempting to get sites blocked within the country. Rights holders within the country are seeking SolarMovie.ph, the Pirate Bay, and a handful of other major well-known piracy sites to be blocked. Now, the legislation was passed in summer of last year to much controversy, and it was sort of viewed as an alternative to a three strikes regime, which was also highly controversial and ended up falling by the wayside in the country. Still, after it was passed, rights holders didn't do anything with it. There was just nothing going on, and now we're seeing the first lawsuits seeking a federal court to order the blocking of these sites. And finally, though this is not directly a copyright story, it is certainly copyright adjacent. If you are tired of renting your set-top box from your cable or satellite TV provider, the FCC may be offering you a glimmer of hope, as they voted 3-2 to start drafting rules to allow third parties to create set-top boxes which you would be able to then buy and stream and access all of your pay TV. Now, obviously, pay TV providers are perfectly happy to rent you these set-top boxes and would love to continue to do so. But, much like with telephones and how they were previously rented by phone companies, the FCC has ruled that we have to pave the way for third-party providers, and the third-party providers say that they can provide other services such as internet streaming, better DVR functionality. Meanwhile, Dish Network, DirecTV, and the cable providers say that they would much rather have an app economy where they create apps that are then run on those third-party devices, something the FCC does not feel is an adequate solution. Trying to kill the last few seconds. Yes! Dramatic pause on 0-1 left. Ha ha ha. I got it. That's 7 stories in 6 minutes and 59 seconds. Not bad for only my second take to dang. Yes. On that note, if you have stories you would like to suggest for this, or you have comments, feedback, criticisms, or you just want to absolutely hate on me like it happens in some of my other videos, that's a-okay. The comment form is below. Go crazy. Also, you can find me, like I said, at Plagiarism Today, and I also run a copyright and plagiarism consulting firm at Copybyte at COPYBYTE. Until next Friday, this is Jonathan Bailey, signing off.